What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my MCU retrospective. Today we got part 4, and we're going to introduce two more Avengers to the team. We got Thor, we got Hawkeye coming at you. Briefly, little Hawkeye cameo, but we really get the introduction of Thor, our strongest Avenger, our funniest Avenger potentially. This is his origin. I mean, not really his origin. He's been doing his thing for thousands of years, but this is our introduction to, the Norse mythology and how these uh, special beings, helps kind of save us. And then some of the older, Vikings might have worshipped them as gods. That's how the stories came to pass. It all kind of ties together good enough for us to be like, okay, so these are the actual gods from the story. I mean, they're not entirely immortal, but they're pretty spectacular. The things they can do are absolutely godly. But we have Thor. Thor is the son of Odin, one of two sons of Odin, who is, effectively the king of kings up in Asgard and protector of the nine realms. And his sons, Loki and Thor, are here for Thor's presentation as king. He's to be crowned king of Asgard. And this is a special day for him. It's a very special day, but it does not take long for us to realize that Thor might not be well suited for the crown. So Odin makes a decision that pretty much kickstarts this movie. So let's go back and take a look at 2011's Thor. If I'm going to start off by talking about things that I really enjoy about this movie, it's hard not to enjoy the cast. This may be the most objectively beautiful group of people ever assembled. I mean, we got Chris Hemsworth, who, again, good looking dude. Natalie Portman, Tom Hiddleston, Anthony Hopkins. He's old, but he's still a fox. Idris Elba. You got Rene Russo. You got one of the Skarsgårds. So we've got a great collection of fantastic people, superbly talented. I don't know how they convinced Anthony Hopkins to be Odin in these movies, but I mean, he just brings a real, just maturity and gravitas to this early chapter. Now, a lot of these guys are acclaimed actors, but not on his level. So having a guy of his caliber come down to this movie and play such a pivotal role, I mean, I thought it was going to be a glorified cameo. I mean, in a way, it sort of is. He's in a large part of the beginning, and then he, goes into his Odin sleep for a nice part, and then he comes back for the end. But he's in the movie. He's definitely a part of the movie. Plays a big part in the movie. Gives us a couple of really awesome scenes. It's really awesome to see Idris Elba. This is before he really, I mean, he was already obviously in, stuff like The Wire. He wasn't a rookie by any means, but this was before he really rose to the prominence that he is now. So it's really cool to see him back in the role of Heimdall. Not back, but originating, the role of Heimdall. Natalie Portman, always nice to see her. She's a great actress. They don't give her a lot to do here, but she plays the role of Jane Foster very well. Kat Dennings, I mean, my God, I didn't even talk about her earlier, but we're throwing her in the mix. Again, it's a very great collection of talented actors, actresses. It doesn't hurt that most of them are, again, objectively pretty good looking. So it's a lot of fun to watch. The cast looks like they're enjoying themselves. I think that they're all having a lot of fun while they're shooting. Chris Hemsworth is hamming it up, but that's what they wanted him to do. I mean, this is him. He grew up kind of in that like Shakespearean. Everything is so over the top, so it works for the character. And it's really cool to see him grow throughout the movie. I mean, we talked about origin stories. We need to see character growth. That's really the essential part of this movie is Thor's journey, Thor's growth. Thor is a dickhead when we first meet him. I mean, and then he goes through the typical kind of Kratos journey where he starts off, he's already powerful, and then he has his power stripped so that we can go through the movie with a mortal Thor. And Thor has to go through all these trials and tribulations as a man, and it humbles him, and he learns to respect other people and respect himself, realize that he doesn't have to be the man that he was forced to be. He can be whatever he wants to be. And I think becoming immortal showed that to him and allowed him to grow in ways that he didn't even know he needed to grow. He thought he knew everything. And there's a great line from Selvig where he says, it's okay to not have all the answers because then you start asking the right questions. That is a dad line, a great word of advice. Just write that down. Great piece of advice. There's a couple of those there. Anthony Hopkins, Odin drops one on you. A wise king never goes looking for war, but he's always ready for it. So there's a couple of really awesome lines from a couple of really amazing actors in this movie. And I already talked briefly about the supporting characters, but they really are amazing. I mean, Stellan Skarsgård's Dr. Selvig is a big player now and moving forward. Kat Dennings is a nice addition, both as a side character and as a little bit of eye candy. We get the introduction of Clint Barton's Hawkeye, however brief. He's shown he's cool, he's calm, collected, he's capable, he's ready to take down Thor, albeit it's human Thor, but he's ready to step up and execute the order. So we get a quick introduction, a little teaser to one of the other Avengers. Renee Russo, again, she plays Frigga, Thor's mom. Great, again, we're bringing in a lot of really good actors and actresses to play roles that they didn't have to go that hard in. So it doesn't go unnoticed by me. I appreciate bringing Renee Russo in. She's in some of my favorite movies of all time, Tin Cup especially. So it's great to see her. Great, great, great. Supporting cast, A plus here. Now, it would be impossible to talk about this movie without talking about one of the greatest romances of all time. And I'm not talking about Thor and Jane Foster. I'm talking about the brotherly love of Thor and Loki. To see where they've come, it's fun to go back and see where it all started. They really did. Loki did care for his brother, even back then. Now, did he have a little bit more evil in him before he goes through some of his journey and gets rehabilitated? Yeah, I mean, there's evil in him in this movie. I mean, it doesn't take a lot for him to kind of jump at the chance to manipulate and be king. So I don't care what he says about not wanting the throne. It's clear that he did. It's clear that he wanted to be Thor's equal by any means necessary. So he's very much the villain in this movie, and I never gave this movie its proper due because, I'm asking for a Marvel movie that doesn't give us the same kind of finale with the same person, same power, same power. And this movie doesn't at first, it has Thor versus the Destroyer. And at first, that's what I remember the finale as. God versus giant laser robot. It's good enough. It works okay, especially because it's Thor's proper arrival. He gets the hammer, transforms. That whole scene is really awesome. And then he takes out the destroyer pretty quickly. But really, that's not the finale. The finale is when he goes and confronts Loki. And again, I really forgot how impactful that scene was, again, especially after the Loki season 2 finale, seeing where Loki goes, where his character may or may not end. I don't know what we're doing with him moving forward, but to go back and see where it begins, there's a lot of really awesome moments in that showdown. And then the fact that Loki sacrifices himself, we know he's not really dead. But it's really cool. It's really fun to go back and watch. And that's a great finale. I don't care that it is the exact opposite of what I said I wanted. It is two gods with their powers are different enough. Loki goes toe to toe with Thor for a brief moment in the fight, which surprised me. Again, I forgot that he is a pretty able combatant, even above his magic. But he does it more in deceptive and quick movements, whereas Thor is obviously brute force and fighting just experience. So, but it was cool to watch their little fight. And then I liked the finale. Odin coming and trying to save his kids, Loki dropping himself for brokenhearted. Again, he's still playing games. That's what's so funny about it is it's so clear now that he kind of rolled away, projected himself down there just to fuck with his brother and his father. In the back he's running away giggling like a little bitch, but who cares? Because that's his character in this moment. So it fits really well. The ending works for me a lot better than it used to. I give this movie a lot more credit than I used to. It's not one of my favorites, but it's a lot better than I used to think it was. All in all, I'm surprised. I'm going to give this movie a 7.5. I'm a lot more favorable on this than I used to be. I think, again, everybody shows up, plays their role very well. I'm glad that they went away from all the bleach with Chris Hemsworth and let his more natural look kind of shine. I'm not going to deduct points for that. His comedic timing is shining through even back then. I mean, the scene where he slams the mug and screams another. There's a lot of really funny fish out of water moments, and then he grows into this role so well as time goes on. And you see it here. You see all of the potential. Tom Hiddleston as Loki. There's a reason that he may be the best character in the MCU. Again, starts here. Anthony Hopkins, Idris Elba, so many great characters, and they all start here. A lot of the mythology that we grow to understand starts here. We introduce in another, a whole bunch of other worlds. They're smart enough to bring us back to Earth, you know, literally and figuratively, and keep us, in small town USA as they're introducing us to these more fantastical things. Bring us along slowly. I touched on it a bit with starting the MCU with Iron Man and allowing us to see some of these crazier things, at least through technology that we understand. But now we're starting to branch out into magic, powers, things that can't be understood and just have to be taken as what they are. Fantastic people doing fantastic things. But the movie works. I like it. 7.5. All of these characters go on to do great things in the MCU, and I'm excited to keep going on our journey. We're only on part 4. We got a lot more to go. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been a blast. I'm going to get Captain America done as soon as possible so that we can jump on to the Avengers, and that will conclude our Phase 1 retrospective. And then we'll see. Maybe we'll do Phase 2, Phase 3, Phase 4. We'll see where we go. But I'm looking forward to it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great Thanksgiving. I love you all. Be good people. Be good to each other. And don't bleach your eyebrows.